record on this computer. And it is now recording. So I am going to share am I sharing my screen? I don't think I am.
Not yet.
All right. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. Evelyn, how have you been?
Girl, working hard on this graduation stuff.
I bet. I think I got one more graduation thing to do, and I am grad done.
Yeah, we got graduations this week and next week.
Oh, really? Okay. See, I was last week and this week for us here. So
And see, we don't do
done.
graduation till next month, so I got some time.
Oh,
Because
yay.
we go to the end of I go to June 27th. So we don't do my graduation is 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Well,
all the way to the end.
hopefully after today, you get some good ideas to start pushing some grad products.
Okay.
So nice, nice. So let's rock and roll. Welcome to the Zeta Phi Beta and Sigma Gamma Rho licensing workshop. I am excited about this workshop. Not that I'm not excited about the other ones, but I'm excited about this one because when I tell you the ladies of Zeta Phi Beta and the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho, Evelyn, you have heard me say it a million times that I love these ladies. They are a pleasure to work with, and they buy. And they buy. Even when you're doing custom work, I have not ran into a chapter that when I'm doing custom work, they have not been just pleasant to work with. I have worked with my own chapter and said, I will never work with y'all again, unfortunately. And so let's get into this workshop. I am Tamika Smith. I am your coach. And I am also a D9 business owner. A little bit about me. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, married I have 3 children there, but I actually have 3 and a bonus baby, but she's much older, 26, than mine. And I say much because I have a 23-year-old, a 20, and then an 11-year-old. I am a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated since the spring of '97 on the campus of the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. And I have one legacy. I started my business twice. I started in 2009. It was called Preferred Legacy at the time. It failed miserably. It failed. I made a lot of business mistakes, especially when it came to being a licensed vendor. When just general business knowledge, I just didn't have it, and I went about it the wrong way. And it failed. It really did. And that kind of knocked me down a bit. And I set on my idea, even though it was always there, nagging at me. Like I've always loved everything D9. It was just in my family and my life and my way of being. And it just kept nagging at me like, girl, come on, get this business going. So I decided to try again in 2019. Let me go back a bit because in 2009, with little business sense I had, I went to this, I can't remember the name of the nonprofit at the time, but they give funding and grants to small businesses. And so I went with my 0 sales, my business plan, and my hope. And asked for, some funding to get this business started. And they were like, you know what, you got to go back to the drawing board. We need to see some numbers. We need to see, proof of, product. And so they said, try online first and come back. That's what knocked me down. I was like, well, I can't afford it. I got to stop this and just do work. I was working as a social worker at the time. So then later on, after saying, let's get it together, 2019, I said, just make the first step, get your business license, right? I rebranded Preferred Legacy to the Crossing Box because I was thinking to myself, how do I stand out among other fraternity and sorority vendors? Because, people sell, like there's this guy here in Birmingham who is like the go-to guy. Everybody knows, right? So I was like, how do I stand out and survive and compete, right? And so I said, you know what, maybe I should think of something a little bit more niche and develop the crossing box, which is new member boxes. So it gives you the staple items. It comes with 7 items and the crossing box itself, which is our most popular box. And you have a lined jacket, a lined shirt, a hat, lanyard, keychain, lapel pin, and the silicone bracelet. So you get all of that in one box. And then we have the mini box where we sell just the hat, the shirt, and a lanyard. And then we have the accessory box where we sell all of those accessories, just in case you don't, know their size, or don't want to spoil it that you're getting them a gift. And so we just have the accessories. So business has been well. I have been in business now for 6 years, 6 years. And I am still loving it. I have not fallen out of love. I am still working on my product myself. I do have help, but I still love and enjoy packing the boxes. It gives me joy to pack them and put that sticker on and mail them, because I know some chapters new line is about to open them and be really, really excited for that big day, right? So all that to say, I have learned a lot of do's and don'ts. I have learned a lot of, girl, don't do that. Let me tell you what to actually do. And so as I was going through that process, I did not have anyone to say, here is how you complete this application. Here is what you need for this application. Yeah, I didn't have that. I had to figure it out. And I had a lot of bumps along the way. I had a lot of pushback. I'm gonna be honest. I had a lot of pushback. But I am here to make sure that no one else have to do that. I am here to make sure that there's no gatekeeping on my end, because it's plenty money out here to be made. There's plenty organizations, there's plenty fraternities and sorority chapters to service, and there is no reason why one particular business should corner the market, right? It's out here for us all. So I am dedicated to help others, right, to start their D9 business, or even just grow their business to, cater to the D9 space. And y'all stop me at any point. Just come off mute because I've minimized, so I can't see you all, but please just feel free to unmute yourself to ask a question. All right, so for this workshop, we are going to go a little bit in the history. We're not going to go deep in the history, but we'll get some history. But I will tell you that as you are designing product for each organization, you definitely want to research and learn about those organizations as you're designing for them. We're gonna try our best to complete an application. If nothing else, we're gonna go through the elements. Because as I was preparing for today's workshop, I realized that I have been licensed in Zeta and SGR for about 4 years now. And so my portal, my dashboard is a hot mess. So I'm gonna see if I can try and go through a new application using what I have in my dashboard. So we're going to also talk about all of those business elements that you will need for your application. There's a product catalog, and I'm actually going to put Evelyn on the spot a little bit when we get to the product catalog, because I know she has this already. I want to know how helpful it is for her. There's also a checklist to make sure all of your elements of your application is there, and then questions, but I have questions at the end. But please feel free to ask questions throughout. Now, before we get into, I wanted to kind of stop a little bit, and I'm gonna do a stop share so I can see you all. And I know about Evelyn's business, And I will ask Evelyn, if you will just give us, for Tamara, just to kind of a rundown of your business and how long you've in business and kind of where you are in the D9 licensure process.
Okay, I'm Evelyn. My business is School Matters. I've been in business 20 years this year. We do custom apparel. I started Monday 9 with the last class, and they just emailed me today talking about where my samples at. So I haven't sent my samples in yet, but
Okay,
I have everything else done. I have my insurance done.
nice.
Everything is cool. I just have to mail my samples in. I ordered stuff, but I just got to send it in.
Just that, okay.
So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, yay,
Thank
congratulations.
you.
Okay, and I was gonna ask you, so did you have samples to send in or you're making them, like you're in the process?
I was gonna make samples. I ordered my garments and then I ordered my letters, so I was gonna embroider those on. So hopefully after
Yay.
graduation, like hopefully this weekend, I told her I was gonna try to send them out on Tuesday after the holiday. So that is my plan to work on it, embroidering this weekend to get my samples out.
Very nice. I'm excited to hear that. All right. So Tamara, are you able to give us a rundown of the business and where you are in the D9 process?
I'm nowhere near where neither one of you are.
Hey,
So
that's good.
actually,
Okay.
my first half of my business is Exquisite Enchanted Events, which is the event planning side of the
Mhm.
business. And then about a year ago, I started to get a love for crafts. So I wanted to what is it? I wanted to tell Sydney I'm calling back because now they took me off this.
Okay.
Hello, can you still
So,
hear me?
uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
so, oh, sorry. So then about a year ago, I started to want to dibble and dabble in crafts. And then, so I started like, doing little trinkets and little ideas. And then one of my chapter sorors said, based on the ideas that I'm always sharing, that she thought I would be good in thinking about being a vendor. So this is my first step to it. I have no product. I have ideas of what I could do, but like
Uh-huh.
you shared, Tamika, I'm trying to think like what would make me stand out against the rest, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there are thousands of vendors, there are thousands of products out there. One
Mm-hmm.
thing that has been really sitting on my heart is that I want to do Greek reading cards. So I'm
Oh,
not sure if
yeah.
I'll start there, but I feel like
Mm.
that's where I might start and then go from there.
Yeah. So first of all, congratulations on making that switch based off of what I would call customer feedback, right? So she has seen something in your products that she feels that other sorors would buy, right? So as you are sharing that product, I would see what people are liking and what people are going, oh, I really need this. But the beauty of you being a member is that you kind of have your audience built in for you. And you're gonna that's who you can be able to sell and do custom work with because you have that connection. But we are all starting from somewhere as long as we start. So, with your event business, do you have a business license and an LLC already in place?
I do. I have a LLC, and I took a course to get a license in event planner, so I also have that as well.
Nice, nice. Okay. Because, I mean, when you think about it, crafting is really part of event planning, right? As you're doing these events, you're having to craft the space. So it's not too different. And we will think about if you do greeting cards, we'll think about how to merge the two during your app, thinking about how to merge these things for your application, but we'll work through that. All righty.
Okay.
All right.
But and I only thought about like in my mind, like Target or back in the day when we was going Hallmark. Like there's a greeting card for every category, but there are no greeting cards. And even if you try to go on like Etsy, it's usually like a blank card. But I want to
Mm-hmm.
be like the hallmark of greeting cards, but on the Greek family side.
Very nice. Yeah. So I know for my boxes, I order these welcome cards. And even with that company, I tried to reorder and it was like, oh, we're on a break. And the break was like 3 months long. And it was during crossing season. So I was like, so I sent out boxes this last crossing season with no cards,
With no
no
cards.
welcome
Okay.
cards. And
See,
I
so
was like,
hopefully I'll be able to give you cards.
yes, yes.
And I want
So,
cards to be able to talk about when someone has an anniversary, somebody's birthday, like all of those things that would be monumental in a person's
right,
Greek life.
right, right. I definitely think there's a niche
Graduation,
for that.
so forth and so on.
Yes, yes, I am loving that. And I am loving, I'm thinking about the production. I'm loving about production and shipment. um, yeah, I'm loving the greeting card idea. All righty. You will have your first customer for sure. Cause my little lady, I don't know where she went. All righty. Okay. So let's get back to our PowerPoint. Okay. So let me know how you're feeling. We're doing a mood check. How are you feeling about completing your application today? Now we're gonna not complete it because we, as Evelyn shared earlier, you do have to have product to upload. They give you some time from the initial application, but are we feeling great? Are we doing okay? Are we struggling a bit or are we feeling overwhelmed? How are we feeling? Mood check.
I guess I would be okay.
You're okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Well, good deal. Good deal. We didn't want the struggling and the overwhelm, but it's okay. We was going to handle all of that today. But all righty. So the goal of this workshop, so we want to empower you to give you the tools, the knowledge, the resources to actually complete this application, go through this process to become a licensed vendor for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated and Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. We are doing these two together because the process is the same. And I will say, so AKA process, is similar because they use the same DL, we'll talk about DLH licensing, but they use the same platform, but it's a little bit different for them. And you will have all you need, right, to submit your application by the time we get done today. Just a little quote, learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. So learning is just the starting point, but it is such a crucial step to doing something big and doing something great. So I wanted to include this because we're always learning. We're always figuring out how to grow, and we do that through learning. I talked about my story already. And then this is just our philosophy. No gatekeeping. We about to share it all. We don't hold back. So ask your questions. We just gonna talk about it all. Ain't no gatekeeping. All right, so we're gonna get a little bit into some history. So Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, they were founded in January, like most of the sororities and fraternities, not all, but most, January 16th, 1920 at Howard University, such as others. And they have, where happened to, here are their founders, I'm sorry, here. And then their motto is a community conscious, action oriented organization with the colors of royal blue and pure white. And the mascot is the dove. And if you see over to the right, here's the shield. Evelyn, you have heard me say before that you really, as you're designing for D9 orgs, you want to make sure you are using the right shield and don't want to use one that has been altered because that goes against their branding guidelines. And it's just disrespectful. So, their impact and legacy, you want to lead through education, social justice, and service initiatives worldwide. You know, when you join the challenge, I'll talk a little bit more in depth about history and how did, you know, these particular organizations start in their commitment, right, to social justice. But they are known for programs like the endowment of the National Education Foundation Community Outreach Services and the support of multiple affiliate organizations, very service oriented. And here are just a couple of influential or famous Zetas: Dionne Warwick, the singer; Vivica A. Fox, an actress; Cheryl Underwood; Zora Neale Hurston; Shaka Khan. I think she was was she one of the last honoree members, Shaka Khan? I think she was the last or the one before.
The one before the last class, that's correct.
One before, yeah, Shaka Khan. So I was excited to see Shaka Khan. And then Esther Rolle. All right, and so Sigma Gamma Rho, founded in November, the only sorority that was not founded in January 12th, 1922, and also not founded on Howard University, but Butler University in Indianapolis. They have 7 founders, and their motto is greater service, greater progress. Colors are royal blue and gold, and their mascot is the poodle. Here is their crest. One thing I find unique about the Sigma Gamma Rho crest when you're designing is that sometimes their crest doesn't translate well on all designs. So as you're kind of designing with the Sigma Gamma Rho crest, can't say it today, just kind of look at how the shield replicates itself onto that design, how it looks, is it giving good quality, you know, all of those things. All right, and their mission, oh, and I forgot to put the shield on the rest of the slides. Okay, their mission and goal is to enhance the quality of life for women and their families in the U.S. and globally through community service, civil and social action. All right, so that theme among most D9 organization of community service, civil and social action. So their goal is to achieve greater progress in the areas of education, health awareness, and leadership development. Their members, affiliate staff, and community partners work to create and support initiatives that align with their vision. All right, some influential SGROs are Kelly Price. She is a Grammy-nominated R&B singer. MC Lyte. I believe MC Lyte held a national office in their organization for quite some time. Vanessa Bell Armstrong, Deshauna Barber, who was Miss USA in 2016, Hattie McDaniel, Victoria Rowell, and then Robin Kelly, who is a U.S. House of Representatives. So some influential SGROs. All right. So I talked a little bit about as you're designing, right, for these organizations, you want to make sure you're designing with their brand in mind, their branding with the purpose, right? So first thing you want to do is make sure that you are doing your research. You want to understand their mission, their vision, their goals, right, their values. And as you understand these things, you want to make sure that you're reflecting that in your licensed products or in your products that you are designing and that you are making. You also want to be respectful and authentic to the design. You want to alter shields. You don't want to use a blue that you know is not correct, right? you want to make sure that you're being authentic to the design and very respectful. And then going along with doing your research, make sure you know your audience and honor the traditions that they have. All right, here are some free resources that you will get by the end of this workshop. The branding guidelines you will get. The design video is actually, I have it. I did not have it, Evelyn, at the last workshop, but I have finally got the design video ready and will be uploaded to YouTube, and I'll share that link. A product catalog, template, and then your application checklist. All right, so let's get licensed. I'm going to stop share here, and we're going to go into, but before I do that, I wanted to ask Evelyn about her opinion on this product catalog. Is it helpful in any way, or even at least organizing?
I don't even know. I don't even look at, I haven't seen a product catalog. I don't even know.
Oh, look in. How did you get through? How did I send it? I might have to email it. I thought it would have been in your email when you signed up.
I don't even know.
Okay. All right. Well, check it out and let me know what you think about it.
Okay.
See if it'll help you get the products together. All right. So before I start this licensure process, I also wanted to share this branding guideline, and I also wanted to share a process PDF that for Zeta, Phi Beta. So when I share, oh no, mouse, I think my mouse is dying. I have dropped it way too many times. Okay. And I don't know, I'm one of them people, I need like an actual mouse to move around instead of my pad. Where is my, oh, you know what I did? I opened this. Let me close that. Branding guidelines. Okay. And then share this way. Oh, none of this one. Okay. All right. So this is the branding guidelines book that you will, or you hopefully already have the link to. And what it does is just breaks down. Well, I was hoping it, oh, because I'm using my mouse, that no longer works. Okay. Tells you a little bit of history. I'm going to always include some sort of history in any product that I give or sell. And so it does include all D9 organizations, not just the one. And it talks about the approved trademarks, your approval logos, the colors. Not everybody knows that you can use alternative colors other than the ones that you generally see, but you can. And then also not everybody knows, or even, I don't even think people really stick to the typography, but there is typography for each organization. But this is the branding guideline. So as you are designing for these organizations, you can refer to this, especially when they have the hex codes of which red to use, which crimson to use, as you are kind of designing. So this you should already have a link for. If you do not, let me know so that we can get that over to you. But it has all of the colors, logos, typography. Not all of them have typography, but they are here for you all. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of show that. And then I am also going to show, Zoom used to have a new share button. I guess they got rid of the new share button. I don't know why. But all right, so let's get into the process of this licensure now, because we are going to go over both Zeta, Phi Beta, and Sigma Gamma Rho but they won't necessarily have the same resources as we go through them. This particular one is for Zeta, but it is the same actually for Sigma Gamma Rho. It's just the fact that Zeta actually put it into a resource for their licensees, and Sigma Gamma Rho just, that they didn't, unless it's somewhere in the dashboard. But so what happens is that you're going to submit your application, but you both should have done the registration first, right? Because I don't remember how long it takes for you to register for the portal and approval before you can start the application process. So I try to get people, as soon as they sign up, to go ahead and register so that when we get to the workshop, we can just kind of rock and roll. But you complete your application, then you will get approval, and then you sign the agreement, and then it's executed. It says CLC, and you can see it up top here, CLC Greek licensing. CLC Greek licensing is the actual licensure body that will issue you your license to sell Zeta and SGR products. But when we get into the application, you'll see that we will actually go through a different company or a different portal to submit the application, but we are being licensed through CLC Greek. CLC there's a CLC Greek, and there's a CLC Collegiate, because they also do some colleges and universities. So once you have been approved through your license, submitting your application, you sign it. There's an agreement between the two because you both will sign it, CLC and you. And then you pay royalties or advance fees. I'm assuming it says royalties / advance fees because the application and the renewal process is the same. And because if you have not submitted royalties, and we'll get into what that is and how much that is, before you renew, you will have to submit those fees before you can renew. And I will show you guys, oh, and I thought I'll pull it up, one of my royalties, and kind of give you an idea of how many sales you will have to make and how much royalties that would be like when you pay. I didn't get a chance to do that for Sigma, and I owe Evelyn because I don't do as many sales as I do for Zeta and SGR. But so once you do, you pay your fee, and for Zeta, for me, for Zeta, it is $1,500. It just went up this year. It was $700 and it went up to $1,500. But if you are an active member of Zeta Phi Beta, you do get a discount. I am not sure what that discount is, but you do have a discount. So then you have to have your insurance. I'm going to pull up an example of what that should look like with the CLC Greek as your insurer for $1 million. And then once you finish your insurance, then they're going to ask you to do your artwork. So very similar to the previous workshop where it takes you through these steps. And then once you submit your artwork and you are approved, then you get to manufacture your product and start selling. Oh, me and this mouse, I think I better move it because I'm going to continue to try to use it. All righty, so this is just once you are active in the dashboard. Anytime you have new product, you want to submit that artwork for approval. You want to make sure that you are always current with your insurance policy, because you have to submit what's called a certificate of insurance, a COI, and that COI does expire yearly. So you'll have to make sure you're up to date with that. Submit your quarterly royalty reports. They are quarterly, and I'm gonna be honest, they give you a little bit of leeway, a little break. I may take advantage of that way too often. I'm gonna try to get better at that, but you do have to submit your royalty reports quarterly. And then of course, submit your payments. They have made it really easy this time. They've done a lot of updates this year because we used to have to do a wire to submit any payments, but now we can do that online. And it actually says that wire or a check, but now you can do it online and it's so much better. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Greek@clc.com. I have reached out to them before. Remember, I told you I was doing this on my own, so I had tons of questions, and they are very helpful. They are like really there and ready and to answer any questions that you may have. So do not be afraid to reach out to them and ask any and everything, because I did. Right. Okay. Now the portal, y'all, this portal, mine is going to be a hot mess, but I'm going to pull it up anyway, because that's why we're here. Let's see, where are you? Let's see if it's here. Okay, are you all seeing Direct Licensing Hub on the screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. All righty. So as you are applying, this is the website that you will apply through. This is the Direct Licensing Hub. This is like a portal for really many organizations, many colleges, many universities. So if you are just starting out and would be your first time going into this hub, you want to hit apply for license. As you are applying for a license, you will have to do these details. Now, you all have done this already. Your licensee name would be you. And I wonder here, as I was, this would be could be your business name and your contact name here. When I first did mine, I put my name in both spots, and now I regret it because I would love for it to say my business rather than my name. I would imagine I can email them and ask them to change it, but it works. But so your business name, your phone number, and then your website. It is required to have a website, and then your email address. There are free websites out there that you can use until you get started, or until you grow and want to go into something a little bit more like Shopify. Shopify, I am not sure if they still have it going on, where they had 3 months of $1, but the basic plan was like 30 something dollars at Shopify. But there is also stand.store website. There's also, what is that one I use? PayHip is one website that is free. Etsy is one. It's not free because you do have to pay, I want to say $1, $1.20 per listing. But starting out, I would choose something like Etsy or stand.store or STAN.STOR, stand.store, PayHip, PAYHIP. Gumroad is one, GUMROAD. These are some of those are free platforms until you get to your Shopify's, right? Etsy, what I like about Etsy is that Etsy finds your customers for you. And really, Tamara, when you think about greeting cards, that would be like a good place to start, Etsy. Also, but I will caution you that Etsy will ask you to take your stuff down if you're not licensed. That because they do police that, which I also like as well, because I work hard for my license to make sure I'm doing things the right way. And I would hate for businesses to be posting and selling and doing very well and not doing things the right way, right? So Etsy will take you down. They'll ask you nicely a couple of times, but then after that, they'll take you down. But it is a good place to start because people do, when you think about custom work or crafty D9 work, Etsy is the first place that people go. I love Shopify as you grow, because it does have these hidden fees that people don't tell you about. But it is very helpful when you have like bulk orders and shipping and, you know, all of those things that you don't have to necessarily add in or pay for as an addition for some of the other websites. So Shopify is wonderful when you are growing. So you do have a website, have to build a website, even if it's a shell of a website because it's your application, because honestly, you do not want to have your products there because they will, it's like it appears that you're selling them, right? Because your products are uploaded, but have your shell of a website ready to put that into place. If you have a website like Tamara, if you have your event planning website, and then if you had a tab on that website that said Greek products, but of course, when they click on it, it's blank because there's nothing there, but you have a website there to put into that place. All right, have I lost anybody? Are we good? Let me do a check-in for questions.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
So, I mean, so I have a Shopify and I have a Etsy. So which one would you suggest to kind of make a shell of?
What's on your other website?
On my Etsy, I just have I have some cowboy stuff on there, but it don't say cowboys. It's just some rhinestone transfers that I make rhinestone shirts for Dallas Cowboy fan, but I don't have. And then my Shopify is just like blanks and transfers. I got the BTF transfers. So on the websites, I don't know which one I should use, or should I start a brand new one just for the design stuff?
Yeah, tell me what you're selling the shirts, right? You're selling shirts
Yeah,
and
I'll be
hoodies.
selling, right, I'll be selling shirts and hoodies.
I don't think you necessarily have to do a whole new one. I do think, me personally, if you're already doing like good business on the Shopify, I would add a tab, a D9 tab or a Greek tab to that
Okay.
one.
Okay, thank you.
And there's no rule that say you can't have both. Because like I said before, what I really, really like about Etsy is they bring the customers to you, right?
Right, because yeah, my rhinestone sell and I haven't done anything, and I sell. So I
Yeah.
like that. I like Etsy.
Yeah, I have I have a random digital website on Etsy that every Christmas I'm like, what is this? And then just it go. I'm like, what sale is this? And I keep forgetting that I have it just because it's
Right.
on Etsy, right? People are searching.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I would do both. I wouldn't necessarily not. But if your Etsy is geared toward transfers, maybe they are
No, I
D9
don't do, yeah,
transfers.
I don't do transfers. I make on Etsy, I do the actual shirts.
Oh, yeah, 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 for sure. You do the transfers on Shopify?
Yes, I do I just do gang sheets on Shopify.
Okay. Okay. You may, yeah, you may have to do categories like gang sheets, and you may have D9 gang sheets and then the D9 product. You may have to do it that way. Do the gang sheets sell pretty nicely? Like you're not trying to convert that over to full D9?
No, because I do a lot of B2B. So a lot of businesses
Mm.
here, they order gang sheets and I print them, they pick them up from the store.
Oh, so your gang sheets are B2B.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't put those Greek products there.
Okay.
Yeah. Not unless you're gonna do gang sheets up for, I mean, you can do D9 gang sheets B2B, but your actual products, you want to separate that from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's B2B?
Business to business.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tam. I'm sorry, Tamara. We just Throwing out them acronyms, business to business. Yeah.
Girl, I'm working on a 5X shirt. I'm dying over here.
You working on a what?
I'm doing it all over for a 5X shirt. I'm dying.
Oh my God. Bless you. Look, I don't look now. I gotta show my, oh, you're not on camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see.
Let's see.
It's so big. Like, so I have to turn it
So
around.
how many, because you have to do those in panels, right?
I don't know how I'm about to do it. 'Cause I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to turn my screen around. I don't know how to turn. I don't know how to do this. Now here it go.
Oh, okay. And so
Can you
you
see?
how, yeah, I can see, is it the heat press? Yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta like do, and this shirt is like hanging up to edge, hanging up on each side. So yeah, I'm about to figure it out.
Okay. You got it. I believe in you.
Ooh.
I believe in you because I don't even know how many panels that would be. Okay. All right. And so getting back, let's see, you have your address and then your country and your city, postal code and tax ID. You do have to have a tax ID. All right. And so you can do that through the website. Is it EIN? Let's see what that is. So I can EIN application.
But I set mine up as a DBA, so I would be using my event planning EIN number, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
And so that EIN application is irs.gov. And then it's just a small business self-employed to get your EIN. So you will have it. It doesn't cost to get an EIN. And if you are trying to get this business thing off the ground, you need one anyway. So EIN logo is not required at this time. But of course, if you have it, upload it, give them more information so that they don't have any questions. I'm trying to see. Now, they're pretty good about asking questions. Some organizations, they won't ask questions. They'll just reject. But this particular application process, they're pretty good with working with you. So more information, the better. And then you just click register. Once you register, you will be approved. How long did it take you, Tamara, to be approved?
I haven't received anything to say I've approved yet.
Wait a minute, I thought you were working on some stuff.
Remember, you told me to stop at this point. You told me to only do the first part. I didn't do this part yet.
Oh, I thought you were all into the.
Mm-mm.
Uh-oh. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and complete this and get registered. And so we can get it, so you can start the application process. But of course, because you
Now,
are
my
on,
question is, once I do this, does that mean I have to be ready with the money to go and pay and all of that? I have to be ready to do that immediately? Because
not
I didn't
immediate.
even begin to design anything or think about anything, get a vendor. I haven't done any of those things. So I'm just
Okay.
hesitant to start the application, and I haven't done any of the background work that once everything's approved, I could actually start.
Gotcha. So this, once you hit register and approve, they're only approving you to complete the application. They're not approving you to be a vendor. But to answer the first question, you will have to have your money in place. But you do have some time between now and when they'll ask you for it. So we are in May. So they're doing like renewals, new applications like now. June 1st is really the official start date, and they'll take applications of renewals all the way up until July 31st.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will hear then whether it's yay, approved, sign this contract. Once you sign the contract, then the money is going to be due. Here's where I'm going to no gatekeep and give full disclosure. They are not hounding you for the money. Let me say that. Of course, you want to make sure you have it because it's $1,500. You don't want to go like, I got $100 and let me go ahead and just go on a whim. But
Right.
if you have something in place, or if you know, well, I know I did my application, but I won't be able to pay by, until September the 15th or something like that. They're flexible with the
Okay.
due date of the money. And I want you to keep in mind when I'm saying this is as me being licensed, right, for 4 years. When I first started, I had no idea, right? So I was like, let me get this money. And I thought once I hit submit, I was getting ready to hit a pay button. And that's not the case, but I still had that money just in case that was the case.
Okay.
But they don't ask for money until, let's see, you did the registration, you did the application, you submit your license, your insurance, and then you submit your product. And then once you do that and you're approved, then they want the money. So it's like a process.
So you said submit your product, but if you're not licensed, they want you to just do like a sample.
Right. So here's what I did. The first time I did the application is I found what I wanted to sell online. And I just saved that photo and up. And so you don't submit physical products like you do with Sigma and Iota. You just submit photos.
Images? Okay.
Images, yeah. And so I found of course, mine was very simple. It was like a line shirt, a line jacket, right? You had to do a picture of the line shirt in every color that you want to sell. And you just upload your images. Now, for something like greeting cards, like, I'm gonna be honest, I would be in Canva designing some stuff like
Correct.
now. There's nothing that says you can't design it. Of course, you can't upload it and sell it, but you can be designing, right? You
Okay.
can have your wording, like I would be keeping like a file of SGR greeting, birthday wordings, anniversary wordings. Like
Okay.
I have my running list so that when it is time, it's not crunch time of, oh my God, I got to get these made in, like, are you printing in-house? Are you outsourcing printing? Like that kind of stuff I would have, this would be the time that I would be planning that kind of stuff.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's why in my mind I'm thinking like I want to take some time to plan it out so that once I start the process, everything is already set and I don't have to stop while I get
Yes.
something together and then move forward. So I may not necessarily rush to start the application process now, but I do want to know what it is so that once I, take the time to get the
Right.
product together and I get started, I can just go.
Right. And some people do that, especially when you have lots of products that you're trying to plan, right? I will also say that, even though it opens in June, it'll close July 31st. It won't open up again until next June. Okay.
Okay.
So that gives you even more time, right? A year to
know what I'm preparing for next June.
Right. All righty.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so now you have completed the apply for a license. They've approved you at this point, right, to complete the application. You have your email address and your password, and we are going to just hit log in because we're going to start the application. So here is where you select your company. And I'm going to, remember I said I did my name. And so here's the dashboard. This is my actual dashboard. And we'll just go across the top here. So across the top, of course, this is the home page, the dashboard. As you log in, this will be the first thing you see. And then the license management, this is where you will submit a new request. And these are applications when it says request, new licensure request, or a renewal. Okay. Royalty reporting is where every quarter you will log on, you will do your royalty reporting, and you will submit that here. Here are other resources they have for you. This is your licensors. Let me click on that because I don't even use that. So I don't know what that's for because I don't use it. Let me go back to the dashboard.
How often do you have to renew?
Yearly.
Every year. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now what's happening here? I didn't click something that I can't get back out of. What in the world? I didn't click back way too many times. Oh, and I was thinking, highlights. What is happening here? Do not act up now. Give me a second, y'all. Oh, like now it's not even gonna pull up. Why are you wanting this? Okay. English, US dollar. Okay. That is the format I would like that. And we're gonna hit save changes. Okay, we back. I don't know why they wanted to know that at this. I must have clicked. Yeah. They're taking me through the application process. But since we're here, let's go ahead and venture on to so as you are here, and we'll go back and show, I think under licensing management, you will see this CLC Greek. Now, I have never seen Plus until I started preparing for today's workshop. And I was like, maybe they changed their name, or maybe this is a different way to grow. I'm not sure. But and then view. This is all of the information about CLC Greek. This has their contact information if you ever need to call them. I've actually called them before and they've answered the phone and answered all my questions, right? They're very responsive. And then this is when I had to actually mail in royalties. This would be the address, but you don't have to mail those in anymore. They are based out of Atlanta. There. All right. So this is just all of their information. They're going to populate all of my information here, my company details. So you will complete all of this information, your company details, your address, and the type of organization here. And then you're going to select all of the products that you are going to sell. And there are so many. I want to see if where would stationery and publishing. That's where you would go, Tamara. If you just if it's the Greek.
If I'm going with the greeting cards.
Greeting cards. Yeah, I couldn't find my words. Thank you. Evelyn, I think you're gonna go like in the clothing, right?
Yeah.
So when I did women's apparel, headwear. Now it says men apparel. Of course, they have other organizations, but if you did, if you specialized in husbands of Zetas or something like that, right? And you design that kind of stuff. Youth or infant, you know how people always have future Zeta. I saw the other day, y'all, and I don't know how I feel about this. They were little girls and they were in, it said future, right? They were in their pink and green coach's jacket. It was, first of all, I thought it was very cute that it was a youth coach's jacket, like the line jackets. But it said future and then AKA on it. And I was like, how do I feel about a whole jacket? I don't know. I know when you see the babies and the little ones in the t-shirts, right? I'm like, oh, that's so cute. But I'm wondering, is it overboard getting a whole line jacket that's for a toddler? I don't know.
I saw that too, and then she did like a cameo where she showed they actually became AKAs. But I
Yeah,
wondered if they were like in the like for Zeta, we have youth groups. So I would
right.
definitely do that for a youth group, like my own daughter who when she was in a youth group, it could say Future Zeta, but she also was in the youth group. So it wasn't just a overboard of the jacket, it also represented her being in the youth group. So I wonder if they too were in youth groups before.
Yeah, so we don't have them in AKA. So they weren't in a youth group.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's
So
personal
she was just
preference.
being a
Right?
little ambitious, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Because for moments like that, it's definitely cute, right?
Definitely, but if it didn't turn out that way, I don't think she would have been so happy.
Exactly, right. But you did bring up a good point. The youth, there are youth organizations to Zeta, right? So, and one of the beauties about being a licensed vendor is you will get emails from the national, international headquarters, right? And they will say, hey, we are looking for this particular apparel. We're looking for polos, and we want it to be, you know, one of our youth groups, right? I did not select youth when I did my application. Of course, I can go back and do it. But I was selected here because of those youth groups that you can also design for, because there oftentimes you'll get an email asking for designs or
So I could do
bids.
greeting cards for the youth groups of Zeta as well.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
can do the same thing because we also have Zeta Male Network and we have our Mikai, which are our friends of Zeta. So I can do them as well.
Yeah, now I think that will fall under the Zeta umbrella because I have not seen a separate license for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they all fall under the same umbrella.
Okay.
But you will choose here whatever products it is you want to make, the, you know, high level classification of it, right? And so in the next box is where you would put, okay, if you said women's apparel, then you want to put crossing jacket or line jackets, line shirts, right? Visors, bucket hats, sweaters, whatever you put. Well, you want to put your hats because you'll put that under headwear, right? So that's where you would kind of list out all of the products. I would say starting off doing your first application, do not put too much, right? Because the bottom line is you're going to have to submit the image, have the product, right? Now, just because you submit it and it's been approved, I mean, you have to sell it, but you're saying initially, this is what I'm putting on my website. Me personally, if I wanted to get started, get my license, I wouldn't put too many things on there. I'm gonna go back and show you my dashboard because that will reject, and you don't want that to hold up your application process of reject, reject, reject when it's just a product. Now, they're not going to reject your whole application because of there's certain products in there that they won't approve, but they will, you know, kind of reject some of those products, and you'll have to do a little bit of going back and forth during that application process. Now, some people may say, no, put it all in there because you don't want to have to go back and get approval for something that you later down the line want to add. There's no, when I tell you it is a simple process, if I decided right now, oh, I think I want to do this shirt, it's just some clicks and an upload. And then they are very quick in responding with approve or not or reject. Okay. So me personally, I would put enough on there to get me started and get going and producing and selling, and then add along the way. All right. And so intended distribution, where do you intend to sell these things? I would always use chapters, especially for you, Tamara. Also you, Evelyn, because you got that Sigma Connect at the university. Conventions, I did not start out, y'all. I did not start out in conventions. I was nervous. I was like, oh, I don't know. Well, first of all, my business model, I was like, it's for new members. Why would I go to a convention with a new member box, right? These are going to be people, ladies that from, you know, new members to 25, 50 years in the game, right? So I was like, I don't think a new member box is where I need to kind of sell at conventions. And then I said to myself, girl, why are you putting yourself in a box? You can sell anything at a convention. And so then I started doing vendor events, still not conventions, but I'm gonna do my first convention in June. I'm really excited about it. So, and it's actually not that far. I can drive to it. So definitely at conventions there. But for me, when I first starting out, thinking in that little narrow box of mine, I only did online retailers. But someone was asking me a while back about wholesalers. And so this is where you would make that distinction between a retailer and a wholesaler license there. And of course, direct if you are in person, direct to a chapter, but just where are you going to sell? And if there's any other places, then you will add that there.
And if
All
I'm
right.
doing the Etsy store, I'm putting online as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
online. And then believe it or not, that's the application, the initial application, right? You can save it as a draft, submit it next year, whatever you want to do with it. Just know that you're going to have to do it before July 31st, right? And then you hit submit. And so that is, so remember going back to our timeline, right? So once you hit submit, let me see if I can go back to the timeline. I really wish they would do a new share. I really do. Going back to our timeline, and I know it's Zeta heavy. It is the same for SGRO. There's a place where you hit trademark and or select organization, and you will select Zeta and you will select SGRO, and it will be the same. Okay. You will click both of them. Just know that when you click both of them, that the fee is different. $1,500 for Zeta, SGRO is $1,600. And again, discounts for active members. There are, I think they only have active, Zeta, a member and a non-member are the fees that they have. I'm not sure if you have to be active. I know for AKA you have to be active.
Do you have to select both at this time?
No. If you
So
are
if I wanted to start and just do Zeta and see how it goes and then go back and add SGRO, I could do that.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I would only suggest multiple licensures if it makes sense in your business model. If it makes sense in your business goal, right? There are plenty D9 companies out there that only specialize in SGRO, only specialize in Zeta, right? Only specialize in AKA. Some of them only do sororities. They don't do the fraternities. And I'm gonna just put this out here, most because the sororities buy, fraternities not necessarily, depending on what it is, right? So no, you don't have to do both of them at the same time. You can choose just one or the other. But all right, so now where we are, we did that, and then we're waiting to obtain approval, right? We've hit submit, and now we're just a waiting game. We're waiting, and then they're gonna go back and forth. Either they're gonna have a question about something, because during this time, what they are doing, they're looking at your website, they're looking at maybe, well, they didn't ask for socials. Most of them want to know your socials handled because they're looking at your social media, they're looking at the graphics that you're having. And so when they are doing that, they may come back with some questions, right? I remember when I was doing my Omega one for the first time, and they came back with, I need you to take this picture down, because I didn't even pay attention to it. I did a photo shoot. It was the banner of the website, and the Omega that I used had his tongue out. And it was like, take that down.
So I was about to say, well, what are they expecting to see on the website if you can't sell product? Like just the shell?
Just the shell. Because when I did my AKA application, they rejected me. And one of the reasons it said unauthorized use of the shield. And what I had was just a faded shield with letters across it said coming soon. and it
But
was
because they could see
against,
the shield, but I could use the colors or whatever and talk about the importance of greeting cards or whatever, and not necessarily use the shield
or on your website. Yeah.
on the website.
I mean, I would even do, sometimes you'll see this, the coming soon.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I would do just the coming soon part of it.
Mhm.
But when you submit your product, actually use the
The product that I'm
image
going to
of
be
the
using.
product that
Right.
you want to use.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's what's happening while you're waiting for approval. They're going through all of your stuff, your socials, and making sure things are in line with, remember what I said in the beginning, make sure you're designing with histories and traditions in mind, right? So once they do that and they've asked your questions, you've answered, or they didn't have any, then they said, okay, great, you're approved, sign your agreement. It is lengthy. And when I started, I didn't even think about this, but as I started to grow in my business, and I had a meeting with the business lawyer, small business lawyer, and she said, like, who reviewed your agreements, your licensing agreements? I was like, I just read them, and so I was so excited that it was approved. I was like, sign, right? It's what I need to get to the next step. Just so you know, they're not going to move or change or anything in their agreement. It is so heavy in legal wording, but if you do have a lawyer friend, or if you are versed in legal terms or whatever, just make sure you're reading it into its like entirety, because I did not do that with my Sigma and IOTA application, and it was costly. It was a costly error on my part, because I suddenly got an email. It's like, hey, where's your 1550? It's like, what are you talking about? I owe them $1,500 because I failed to read that if you do not sell any product, you are responsible for paying, if you don't have royalties, right? You have to pay either the royalties or a fee, right? And the first year they were like, okay, great, she forgot. The second year they were like, we need our $1,500. And so it was a costly error for
That was
not,
a very costly mistake.
very, very costly, right? So now I'm like, hey, skim through this for me, please. Can you read this? Is everything all good? Even though, like I said, they're not going to change anything in it, but it will make you think about, hey, do I really want to do this? And if I do, I need to make sure that I need to abide by this, right? So they will send a lengthy agreement, and you will read it and you will sign it, and they will sign it. I think it comes through DocuSign, where you both have to sign it through that. And then after that, that's where they're starting to say, okay, this is what you're gonna have to pay. While you're getting that together, let's start talking about this insurance. Okay, so, and then submitting artwork. So what I'm going to do now is pull up a sample insurance, and then go back to the portal to do product submission. And y'all, I didn't pull it up, so now I gotta find it. I may have to get one. Let's see if I can find an old one, because my new one did not do correctly. I'm gonna choose CLC. I don't even know where it is. I'm going to have another transparency, full disclosure. I let my insurance, I have insurance. I just didn't submit the updated COI. They didn't ask me for it until, I think it was last year. They were like, hey, wait a minute. We haven't gotten a COI from you in like 3 years. I was like, oops. But I had it. It's just a matter of getting it from your
Is
insurance company.
insurance a one-time fee, or you pay that monthly?
So I pay it monthly. I used to use State Farm because it was one of my line sister's husband, and he had an insurance company, and I was like, perfect, I need business insurance, work with me. And so we worked together poorly for a couple of years. Because I've had some, it cost me some license, my alpha license to be exact, because I needed a COI and it was the last piece I needed for the application. And it took forever to give it to me. And by that time it was like, I can't apply now. So that's when I switched over to Hiscox, HISCOX. They were cheaper. At the time, I feel like they have gotten a little bit more costly over the years. And if I need a COI, I can do it myself. They have a portal where you go in and you just put in the information and they email it. I know Evelyn has a good relationship with her insurance folks, and she can just say, hey, this is what I need, and they'll send it over. And that was not my experience.
So with the COI, since I already have one for Affinity, do they just add another thing to it?
Yeah, so what you're
Okay.
gonna do is, and I was hoping to, I don't know where my CLCs, I might have to look in the portal to pull up the old one, but
You get your own insurance. The insurance is not through the CLC.
right,
Okay.
right, you get your own business insurance. And so if you don't have that in place, then this would be another time where you would kind of wait to next year, right? To shop around, get the best price, get the best quotes. And oh, is this? No, that's not it. Get the best price and quotes for your insurance and to get the COI. But to answer your question, Evelyn, you will need a new COI because the insurer at the bottom will have to change. I'm just going to pull up a random one, y'all. Are y'all seeing what I'm pulling up? Because I'm actually pulling up something different. But I'm going to pull a random.
Right now, the PowerPoint is still on the screen.
Okay. All right. Because let me pull something else up because I also want to show royalty reporting. And so let me pull that up real quick so we can talk about it. Analytics. What did I pull up? 2024 fourth quarter. Okay. Okay. We'll leave that up. All righty. Now let me get back on track because I got off track. Insurance. I forgot to pull it up. I'm going to pull this one up. This one says 2024 insurance. Let's see who. This was the State Farm one. Who's at the bottom? This was AKA at the bottom. They were a little different because they wanted extra stuff. That's not a good one. I'll do Omega.
So the insurance that when I send it to like for the Zetas, and then would it show their information plus the Affinity information at the same time, or it would be a whole separate sheet?
I missed the question. What was it?
Would it be a whole separate sheet with just their information, or would it have like the Affinity information plus the new information all at the same time?
So no, not for them. They will actually have CLC Greek. If you can see the screen, this is the COI that I had for Omega, right? And this was through Hiscox. This one also didn't have. Usually you'll have all of your, this is where they wanted $1 million dollar coverage here. It would reflect here. And then at the bottom is where certificate holder, this is where you will have CLC Greek and their address. So you won't put Zeta or SGR on the application itself, you would put CLC Greek in that particular COI. Now, what they will do once you get to where they request insurance, they will give you a sample, and that's where I should have went to my email and pulled the sample, because she most definitely emailed me the other day. I was like, girl, where your insurance? And they will give you a sample, just like they did with Sigma and Iota, Evelyn. They'll give you the sample of how to model your COI, but it will be here, CLC Greek. Okay. Oh, here it is down here. They have, oh, this was the cyber risk. So I have cyber and data risk insurance only because there's one organization that requires it, and it's, of course, AKA. And so now that I have it, I just put it on all of mine. The downside, that's why the other limits are not here, because they put them in two separate COIs, which irritates me because there's nothing there. You can just add that to it, but I just merge them together and send it. So that's why that's not up there. I was wondering why that wasn't there. So this is a COI, certificate of insurance. And you will have to have this for each organization, so not just the one. All right. So now what I want to show, we talked about royalty reporting and how you have to report your sales and pay royalty. For Zeta, it's 10% of your sales, quarterly sales. For Sigma Gamma Rho, it is 15% of your quarterly sales. When you submit your COI, we're not talking about COIs anymore. When you submit your royalty report, you will include both Zeta and Sigma Gamma Rho on your Excel sheet. And so what they do is they provide you, why don't I see it? They provide you with the template. I have too many tabs open, y'all. This is the template they provide you with when you are submitting your royalty report. And if you look across the bottom, this is the actual statement. They don't want you to fill out all of these. They actually only want you to stop at H. But when they ask trademark, it'll tell you at the bottom in these tabs what each column is and what you need to include. So if you click on trademark, they want to use SGR for Sigma Gamma Rho and Zeta for Zeta, right? That's all trademark means. Which organization? And then, of course, the US. Gotta move this little thing out the way. All right. Subcategory is what you're selling. So if it is, remember those categories in your application you said that you were going to sell? These are what these are, right?
So they're custom based on what you submitted.
Right. Well, no, these are just the standard ones, but what they will look at is the code. And I think it's how they actually calculate their royalties, I'm thinking, because they're wanting these categories, right? And so
I'm asking because I'm like, I don't see stationery. Is that because you did not list you as selling stationery?
no, it's going to be, you got to get creative. That's what I was looking for too. Where would your stationaries fall?
So I'm
So they
assuming it
will
would be
fall
under office and school supplies.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And so you will add that. And of course, where did you sell these items, right? UPI, they don't have anything under that, but it's unit product inventory or something, like how many you sold or something like that. But they stopped giving you information after so long. But all they're interested in is what's your trademark, your territory, what subcategory, where did you sell it, how much was it, how many units did you sell? Then here, royalty underscore sales. I actually had to call. I was like, I don't even know, like, I had to get them to walk me through how to complete this report because I had no idea. Like I said, at the bottom, they stopped giving you instructions. And so what I was instructed to do was just repeat how much the item was and then put 0 in the next column. I said, okay. So this is how, every time I submit, I have not had one be rejected, is that I do trademark, the territory, the subcategory, where I sold it, how much the item is, how many of that item did I sell, and repeat it how much the item is, and then 0 in the MRU underscore units column. So this was my fourth quarter 2024 royalty report. So that was September through December. No, September, October, November, October through December. So I made quite a few sales, right? You 62 of, well, that's different. I'm just noticing that was different. It was not rejected. It's been submitted already. Of these 1999, I'm assuming these are visors, right? So 62 visors the last quarter, right? So I had pretty good fourth quarter. When I looked at my website to see how much did I had in total sales for that quarter, I had about 7,000 sales, 7.3 sales that quarter. And when I looked at my royalty report to see how much I paid that quarter, I actually paid, I think it was 30 something dollars. So just to kind of give you an idea of like how many units, how much each unit was, how much I actually brought in. Of course, that 7,000 isn't all Zeta products, right? And then how much I paid in royalties. I'm always nervous when I submit my royalty report because I'm thinking it's one of those things where you never know how much you are going to spend, right? Until you submit and they invoice you. So each time I submit, I'm thinking, it's like a sigh of relief. Like, oh, okay, is that all? So it's never an amount that I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I would love to get that amount because I mean, I'm selling a whole lot. But so far, I have not had any issues with my royalties being
You
like
pay royalties every quarter.
every quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, every quarter. All right. And I have no idea what y'all are seeing on my screen at this point.
Still the spreadsheet.
Still the
royalty,
spreadsheet.
the royalty statement.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to the portal, the DHL portal. All right. So this is where we were when we were doing our application. And so let's go to the royalty reporting here in our license. All right, and so when you get ready to submit, so you can actually download the template. Let's, well, I won't do that because I'll have to do, but when you download the template, let me do that now. No, I don't, oh, well, why not? Well, they're not letting me do that. Okay. Oh, because I did a new application. Okay. Let me go back to my dashboard. Oh, it's like I'm a new person. It's like I'm a new person. I don't want to be a new person. I want to go to my dashboard.
Now, while you're doing, I have a quick question. When I signed up, applied for my DBA, should I be receiving something on whether or not my DBA was approved?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You should have some sort of, paperwork to show.
Okay.
hi to Tamika. It says hi. Did I do something to my? Oh no, playing around in here. Y'all. Okay, remember when I first started off saying this is one of the portals that I do not like? It is not an easy portal to navigate. It's really not. I think I'm supposed to be Tamika. Am I Tamika or am I the crossing box?
You started out doing the Tamika one.
That's what I thought. Why is it different? Y'all. Why is it different? I don't have any. No, this couldn't possibly be it. Wait a minute. I'm gonna log out. Log in. I don't think this. Ah, yes. Okay. Well, I'm actually glad I did that one because it did allow us to do a new application. But so yeah, this is my messy dashboard. All right, royalty reporting. Let's go back. All right. So I have none pending because I am finally up to date. So this is, I don't know how they calculate because this is the same quarter 4. I paid $35.85 from $264.86. I am not sure how they calculate that because I know based on those numbers, this is not the amount.
That was way
Right.
more than $264.86.
Exactly. I have no idea. I am thankful for it because as you can see how much I pay in royalties quarterly, right? Based off of what you saw I brought in, what I reported versus how they calculated it. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, I like it.
Even their formula doesn't add up because you like 3 times it reported that you did 264.86, but your royalties was different. You paid 35 one time, 35 one time, and then you jumped down, you paid 29. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
whatever
not
the
sure how
formula.
to. Yeah.
Those numbers
So
look nice.
what
Who cares?
what I wonder is with the total sales, if they're adding up your column instead of maybe you're not putting the right thing in the right column or something. But I don't know because you know how you put the 60 something units, maybe you're supposed to take the 60 something units times what you sold that unit for and put it in that column. It looked like they're just adding up your 999s and 1999s and coming up with the 200 something dollars.
Right. But remember the next column is how many of that I sold, right?
Yeah. Remember you put the same amount in both columns, like the 1999
Oh yeah,
one
yeah.
column and the
Right,
1999
I
in the
thought they
other
was gonna
column.
make you do the 1999s times the 64 to come up
Right.
with an
That's
amount.
That would,
right.
yeah. That would make
That's what
sense.
would make
But
sense. But you said they told you not to do that.
that's what, when I tell you, I had them walk me through how to complete this. So I'm not going back. So, I mean, this is how I was, when I went to them for help, this is what came out. So, but it does make sense. And then let me go back and look at it. What does it say? It does. It says gross. Oh, it says gross total and royalty sales. But when I can remember him saying, put how much each item costs. But it makes sense to do it that way. But yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone. But what they used to do, and this is what I really, really appreciated, was that the 1,500 that you paid, which was $750, as you completing your royalty reports every quarter, they were taking it out of the 750 and you didn't have to pay any additional fees. That was about 2 years ago.
What's
But
750?
the fees used to be 750. The
Oh, the
1,500.
Oh, so it was as if the application fee was really paying for itself.
Yes.
So it was as
Yes.
if you was paying the royalties up front and then they were just subtracting it from the dollar amount. But you
Yes.
said they don't do that no more.
Mm-mm.
So now they make money off of it.
Yeah, now they're doing that like way, which they were the only ones doing it that way. Everybody else, it was like, no, you're paying your licensure fee and you're going to pay your royalties. Now Sigma and Iota, they still do that. It's where you pay your royalties up to, and I think it's 500 for Iota, and no, it's 250 for Iota and 500 for Sigma. And so you pay either or. So they're a little different
And when
too.
you
That's
renew, you're renewing at that 1,500 again every year?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, every year. So that is royalties. Not as bad. Now that we've had this conversation, I'm pretty sure I'm probably doing that incorrectly. But that's okay. All right, so back to the dashboard. Let's talk about artwork. First, I want to show, any announcements, of course, will be here. Anytime you get an email, it will also show up here as notifications. This is when I submitted my royalty reports today. And then the payment as well. So here,
Question about artwork. With this new IA, any stipulations with using IA for artwork?
I'm gonna say no, unless you get feedback, like specifically like, you may want to change this product, or, but I see people selling things with AI all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. But as you can see, you will see here in your artwork whether it's approved, 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 this was rejected.
Does it tell you why it was rejected so that you could fix it?
Mm-hmm. It does. You are not currently shown as a licensed vendor. So it was in that in-between time of renewal.
But that's the one when you said it was on the website and they told you that you had to take it down.
No, that was AKA. This was one of those in-between licensure times.
Okay.
Here. And so I didn't know, like that I couldn't submit artwork until I had my new that year license, if that makes sense. So you have to wait till you get your renewal in hand before you can submit new artwork. But I turned around and submitted again and it was approved. And they're pretty quick. And if they reject, I think they had rejected me one time before for a visor. And I was just real confused. And so I can't remember what the note wasn't clear of why it was rejected. So I just reached out through the portal and was like, hey, you all rejected my visor. What was wrong with it or whatever. And they just said, oh, we just need a better picture. We couldn't really see what was on the visor. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll give you a better picture. So they really do work with you. When I say they, I do mean Zeta and SG Rose, because I have worked with other organizations and it was just like, can you please tell me why you are rejecting my application again for the 4th year in a row, right? And you have no communication. That's why I like, their dashboard or their portal is not friendly. It is not. But however, their, I would say, customer service or, their communication is. And so
So they
they're really
can
good
walk
at
you
that.
through the portal.
You said what now?
I said, so they're willing to help you and walk you through what you need to do in the portal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's the first point of contact will be someone from CLC Greek. But if they cannot answer the question, then they will forward it on to someone in Zeta or someone in SGRO to kind of clarify your question. All right. My 54 notification, because they do communicate, I'm telling you. Then here is, who all from your business has access to make changes into the portal. You will add that here. Compliance, I have never had anything in this tab. I'm assuming if you had some sort of infractions or something, it will come here. Again, one of those full transparency. You can see it here. My royalty report was done today. For last year, 3 and 4 quarter, right? So they're very lenient, but I don't suggest you do as I do. Be on time, because I'm sure 1 quarter they can be like, girl, no, just stop. We don't even want it no more. But
Is there a certain strategy you, because that means that you got to be very meticulous in terms of tracking. Is there a certain system you use to track so that you make sure that you are as accurate? I mean, I'm sure you probably miss 1 or 2, but you are as accurate as possible.
that is a great question. Now this is one of the reasons why I love Shopify, because it's a click. I can run a report and
Okay.
ask for the
But
product
that's assuming you
sold.
do everything through the website. But what happens when you go to
Vendor
uh,
events and
correct.
now I still use my Shopify at vendor events.
So you'll just tell the shop, you'll say I sold this many at the event.
So what I do, another reason why I love Shopify is they have the online version, and then they have what you call Shopify POS. And
Point of
so
sale.
uh-huh. And so what I do is I have my iPad and I use it like a cash register or what
Okay.
have you. And
So you're keying in your sales, so it's going to track that too.
yeah, it tracks that too. I try to track everything through the website.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Does Etsy let you do that as well?
I don't think so. As far as a POS or tracking?
No, I'm sure they have a system for tracking
Yeah.
online sales. I'm talking about the POS part.
How would that's a good question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
But if
about it.
not, then I would have to develop a system to track the POS in the event that I'm not selling online.
Yeah, so there is I think PayPal has a system.
Yeah, PayPal
Stripe,
definitely has a system.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Stripe um have a system.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I want to say there is Square. You can have the whole setup right with Square
Now
to
they
do
don't
that.
ask you for any documentation to support the numbers that you are submitting.
No,
It's an honor system. Okay.
it's a 100% honest system. I'm a bit, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I think they can pretty much gauge,
Gauge whether you're lying or not.
or yeah, from quarter to quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also know about crossing season, right? Your sales are going to be much higher in crossing
In the
season
spring and the
versus,
fall, correct.
yeah,
A
versus
summer
those summer
or
months.
correct.
Yeah.
Do you think that the more you sell will be a benefit, since they can like, oh, we have this vendor, they sell this amount, so then they would be more willing to recommend you since you have great sales?
Great. So that's also, y'all have great questions. I'm so excited about that. So, one day I was I go through my reports, right, in my Shopify, and there's this report that Shopify runs that tells you who's your top, I think, recommenders, right? I don't know how they know this, but when I look there, my number one, always hands down, every time I look at this report, is Zeta. And not just random chapters, like the international
Headquarters.
core headquarters. Yeah. And they're my number one recommender always. So
And you're
that's
probably
why
on I'll check, but I'm sure you're probably on our website, because we have a list of licensed vendors who we're supposed to
yes.
only be buying from, and I'm sure you're on that list.
Yeah, because they will take you down. When I had that in between moment, I was like, wait. Oh, let me tell you what that in between moment, now that I'm remembering, it was because I had did all my paperwork, but I was trying to get all my money together.
Mm.
And so they were working with me. They were like, okay, you don't have no license, but we're gonna give you some time, right? but we're not going to 100% reject you. And that's what I liked about it, because it's like, we're going to work with you because we know you're trying to get this money together.
Okay.
Right. So that's what I liked versus some of the other, and when I say some of the others, I am talking about AKA. I have a love-hate relationship with my sorority. I love them because it's my sorority, but on the business side, it's just like, come on, y'all. But they'll do a 100% reject, right? You do pay a deposit with AKA, $250. You don't get that back. But with Zeta and SGR, you don't pay a deposit. So if you're
What about
rejected,
Delta?
Delta, you pay a deposit. You don't get it back if you're rejected. But with SGR and Zeta, you don't pay a deposit if you are rejected. It's just like, okay, try again next
Let's
year.
fix it.
Yeah, but they will work with you to get approved.
Because if you
Versus,
get rejected, you have to wait to do it again when it opens and get the next June.
right.
Got it. Okay. So you still got you got to get yourself a whole year to get it together.
To
Okay.
get it together, right? To fix whatever it is they rejected you from the first time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but they will work with you. They give you these deadlines, and I know they are deadlines for a reason. But even if you go past that deadline, because you are in communication, now don't go past the deadline and be like, oh,
And don't say anything. Right.
You have to build that relationship, and so I think that's really important. And just like I said, one of the reasons why when anybody want to be licensed, I'm always pushing Zeta or SGRO. Number one, it's an easier process. They used to be one of the cheaper fees, but now they're up there with the rest of them. But like I said, it's just the communication and the allowance to understand the process versus some of the other sororities and fraternities. So, oh, and then I did have a mentor, and the one that I told you had the store here in Birmingham, and it's like huge, so much stuff, right? It's the go-to place. And so I asked him, I said, so you submit all of this stuff for approval? He said no. It was like, no. He was like, they're not gonna come in my shop and see what I sell. But if you're putting it online, I say yes. Please upload your artwork. It's a matter of clicking, right? If they don't approve it, don't sell it. But he had a lot of products, so I can understand how it could get cumbersome uploading all of those, all of that artwork. And then again, my lovely sorority, he had been in business for years, and they kept rejecting him as well. So I did not feel bad. I think he said one time they rejected one of his blankets because it wasn't the right green. It's like, okay. But he's like, he's been in business, like he's saved other Greek businesses from going under until they couldn't anymore. So he was, very, very knowledgeable in the field. But all right, but compliance, I haven't had any infractions here, so there would be nothing there. I guess I could be clicking on these things. There. Payables, this is where everything will be, that like once you get your license, and they will have your invoice here, and then this is where you will go to pay that. Like I said, now you can do it online, so that's a fabulous thing versus sending in a check or doing a wire. And it does say outstanding and overdue if you're due, but you're working on it. So this is where you will see that, hey, they haven't rejected me because they're still saying outstanding here, and you didn't get a rejection because they're just waiting for you to kind of get your monies together. Disclosures. I don't think there's nothing. Most of these I have not even ventured into. If it's not royalties, artwork, or renewal, or watching the communications on the dashboard, is really nothing there. Here's where you can. Please contact the access. Okay, we don't have to access it. But you also can do it here on the dashboard. And also here. Oh, we should do that too. Holograms, Zeta, SGR. Can I please contact? Okay. I've never bought the holograms from them. Zeta, SGR, Sigma, and Iota, they all, and I'm saying require, but I'm saying it loosely. And Evelyn, you probably got this email the other day about buying the holograms to put on your product. So if you've ever bought anything, and you see this little shiny hologram that has the shield on it, for whatever reason, they are required to be on your product. I'm assuming to show that you are authentic,
I'm about to
licensed.
say, is that your way of showing that you're a licensed vendor?
Yeah.
There's a fee for that, or you just
It
going
is
there
a,
to get it?
I was about to get to that. There is a fee, and they're quite costly.
How much
These
is a hologram?
I bought the Sigma ones and the Iota ones. I want to say for a roll, I paid like $100 and something
For a roll?
for a roll. Now you will also
Oh, it's the little shiny sticker things.
the shiny sticker thing.
Got it. Okay. You know
Yeah,
what though? I don't see those on my products.
exactly. Not everybody buy them, and not everybody put them
I
on
was
there.
about to say, because I know, like, I do the finer box. I don't see that on on there.
Mm-mm. The other thing that you can do is when you are licensed and you get your contract, you will have a digital I am licensed or some sort of icon or logo. You can put that on your website,
Okay.
right? I suggest you put it on your
As a
website.
promotion, yeah.
Yeah. So that
People don't have to
they
question whether or not you're authentic and you're approved to sell the product.
exactly. So I
And now
have
this
bought
is only for if you want to put the shield, or it doesn't matter if you want to put the shield or not. The moment I put Zeta Phi Beta on it, I need to be licensed.
exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna share another fact about that in just 1 second.
Because
So
some
that's
people
what
are
the
under the impression that you only need to be licensed if you're talking about getting their seal, their shield, sorry.
so here, let's go ahead and talk about it. So this is, and I actually learned this recently. If you are buying your product from a licensed wholesaler and you are not making any adjustments to this product whatsoever, you can sell Zeta and SGRO products without a
So if I
license.
bought a pen, if I bought a wholesale box of pens and I sold the pens as is and did nothing to it, I'm fine.
You fine. You don't need a license. If you are manufacturing your products, then you need a license.
Got
If
it.
you
Okay.
are getting line jackets from Buffalo Dallas, because that's one of the wholesalers, if you're buying your line jackets from Buffalo Dallas and then you're customizing them, you need a license.
But what if I'm selling a product wholesale that has a shield on it? Don't I need to be licensed?
Yes, and that's a totally different license that costs more. I don't know how much the Zeta wholesale license is because they're
No,
not.
not a wholesale license. Meaning, if I bought from Dallas a book, a planner, and it has the shield on it, the fact that it has the shield on it, don't I need to be licensed?
Are you going to sell that as is?
I'm gonna sell it as is.
You don't need a license.
Got it. But because I want to do greeting cards, which I'm going to have to manufacture, create, and design, I need a license.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so going back to that branding guidelines, look at that as well, because it's anything in that branding guideline that you're planning on using, you need a license.
Okay. And then you said something about a book, another kind of book, a catalog.
Oh, the product catalog. Yeah, I'll make sure you get that linked as well.
What is that? Is that for for you to design your own product catalog, or is that a
It's
product catalog like a lookbook?
it's for you to put your own products into. So it's like a
Got it.
template, right? So as you are designing your greeting cards, right? And say you've designed a line of 5 birthday greeting cards and you have the photos of them. You can drag and drop those into the template.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
just kind of an organizational thing,
Organizational
right?
thing. Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you will need Canva, just the free version to use it.
Yeah. I'm a
All
teacher, so
right.
I have the version that people pay, but I have all the bells and whistles because I'm a principal.
Yeah, you.
Yeah,
I learned about that a couple of months ago, and I was like, "What?" Nice.
all educators get it for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. And these are all your settings here. If you want to change your password, go in and edit some things, you address changed or whatever, that's all there. All right. One last thing we are going to talk about is for the application is artwork, submit artwork. So if you have something you want to submit, you do that. Which brand? It's going to always be CLC Greek unless you've gone in here and applied for, a college or something like that. And then so you can do artwork submission. Now, why does it only have, maybe it's different from there. Territories, this is always going to be the US for me. And then here you're going to pick those categories like we did before, right? So I'm gonna say I'm going to submit a women's t-shirt. And then here I'm going to, okay, I guess they did it separately that way. That's a little weird, but and then you answer the questions. Are there any special marks in this design? Is there a submission? Is this a rush? So if it's something that you're trying to get launched right away and you need some decision quickly,
They know how fast to move.
Yeah. And they move pretty fast. I always say no. Select the design type. Is it original? Is it a stock item? Used with authorization form from the designer owner. So I guess if you outsourced maybe the design and they gave
You have
you,
permission from the person who designed it to use.
yeah, correct. And then you just upload here. Now, if you had some additional stuff you want to say, like for you, if you're uploading a cover, then you might want to go on the inside of this card would read, right? And you
Got it.
might put that there on the information, additional information section, and then hit submit.
Okay, it's pretty
And
simple.
that's how simple it is to submit. That's why I said, just submit it, or go back and submit half of it once to get approved and go back and submit the
Oh my
others.
God, I got a lot of work to do.
No, you got me. You got me. So you are good. All right. So that is the application process. I'm gonna stop share really quickly to see how you're feeling, what kind of questions you got right now.
The application process seems pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. You just got to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row that when you sit down, so you can submit everything and you don't have to keep looking for things. So, but I think that now that I know what to expect, it'll be
Yeah.
easier because I can create, start to create, like you said, even on Canva, maybe I'll create my own classroom that's just dedicated to this. So I
Yeah.
can start designing and start thinking and even start seeing if I want to outsource for printing and all of that, get some samples. So I got some work to do. I definitely will not be doing anything for June 1st of 2025, but I will be doing it for June of 2026 because I want to give myself some
Understandable.
time. But I
Yeah.
want to make sure that once I launch it, I'm able to do a variety. Now I have to think about what size cards I'm going to most likely, especially because now I see the royalties and all of that. I'm going to most likely do, you can't buy just a one-off. You have to buy like packs of cards. So I'll probably do like a pack of 10. So I just got some things to think about and to see like what is it going to cost me so I could be ready.
Yeah, I always tell people the hardest part, well, number one is the money. But the second one is the products, right? So what is it that you want to at least present for your first application, right? How many of what do you need? What is it you need to design? Do you need a license for this? Had I known what I knew 4 years ago, I probably would have waited on my Zeta or SGR license because I literally was taking products from wholesalers, put them together in a package. But what got me was the box that was
So the box was designed by you, so you still
yeah,
would have had to do that anyway.
yeah.
So for me, I'm thinking, and I also like I have already done that, and I did it for my sorority already. Like I make the
Mhm.
lanyards that you wear at
Oh,
conferences.
nice.
So I
Uh-huh.
make the pearl ones. So I probably will start with the greeting cards and doing
Mhm.
lanyards, and that'll be my focus of
Yeah,
those two things that I can
yeah, yeah.
sell.
Yeah, and that would be cool. I would even, as you're thinking about, and well, let me just say, the next section was product design.
Mhm.
So as you thinking about your products and designing your products, do a little mini focus group or some one-on-ones with your sorors and just say, hey, how do you feel about this product? Or how do you like this design? Or what do you look for in a greeting card? You know,
Mhm.
what makes you buy one greeting card over the
Or
other?
one other. Mhm.
Yeah. And just again, you'll be surprised how many people are so ready and willing to, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this because I really, really was trying to look for one the other day. And this is what I was looking for, right? And you're
Mhm.
just like taking it all
They
in, taking
know.
all those
Okay.
notes, right? Focus groups, one-on-ones, a survey, right? So if you have a chapter or two that you can say, hey, I just need, if you had, say if you had a sample greeting cards and you printed out 20 and said, hey, I have a survey for 20 folks, you get a free greeting card if you complete my survey, and you're asking all of these questions you want to know as you're trying to design, right, your
Okay.
products.
Okay. Will do.
Um, so normally we would talk about where to get some of the wholesalers and products, but for you it's a little bit more unique. I would say that do your homework on whether you're going to outsource the printing or print yourself. Um, what are some of the companies that you would use? Would you be shipping yourself or would you be drop shipping? Where you have another company like Printful or Printify that will be doing them and mailing them out themselves. That's an option
Mm.
as well. So start to think through as you're developing your products, like not just the end product, but how do we think about your
From
customer,
start to finish. Hmm.
yeah, from your idea to your finished product, right? And thinking about your customer journey in mind too, right? As your customer, you're shopping for, what are they going to find you? How do they know that you exist? We know Etsy brings customers to you, where Shopify, you got to go fight for them, right? And you do that through, marketing and social media. Social media is the go-to place, right? For trying to find who's out there and what they're doing. All right. So think through products. Start small. Don't try to have all of these products at once. I think it's perfectly fine to get you some good products going as you're developing other products, because we can get caught up in working and designing. And before you know it, a whole 6 months and you got like 50 cards, right? And it's like, scale back a little bit, refine a good 10 cards, right? Make
Hmm.
them nice, make them like, these are exactly what I wanted them to look like.
Hmm.
After you've done all of your audience polling and everything, and start small, because you can always add as you go. Because remember, the more you have, as they're ordering, the more you have to make.
Correct.
Right. All right. Let's see where we are in our PowerPoint. So I wanted to share with you guys one more thing. Let me go back and look at my make sure we covered all that I said we were going to cover. There is a checklist that you'll get the product catalog, you'll get the checklist of the things you need to have in place. Because at the end of the day, even though it's D9 things that you have to satisfy, you still have to satisfy that business side, right? So
Of
making
course.
sure you have your business license. Both of you all already have these checked off, but your branding, when you have your business voice, you want to make sure that your company looks the same across. Tamara, I know you already know that because we had some conversations right around logos and that kind of thing. but make sure your branding has that same voice and it's very cohesive through social media, through emails, through communications, just whatever it is, right? Business license as well, your EIN, your structure, right? Are you a sole proprietor? Are you an LLC? All of those wonderful things you want to make sure you have in place. Have a business email, a business phone number, virtual address if you don't have a brick and mortar, all of these things in place. And so you want to look really, really nice as people are searching for you in your business. All right. Any questions? We did answer questions. All righty. One last thing. I put 4 hours just to give us enough time because I never know how much questions or how many people are going to join. And there's one more. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Are you seeing my screen? What are you seeing?
You.
Me? Oh, that's right, because I stopped sharing. Okay, okay, okay. Now, now I'm going to share my screen. A lot of times the fees are very overwhelming for people, and it's really a deterrent of whether they can do it or not. So what I always like to do is share a resource. Most people have already heard of it, but I love it. It's Hello Skip. I have a goal to apply to what is my goal? Is it 15 grants in every 2 weeks? Hello Skip allows me to at least try and get to that very quickly. I do have the paid version of Hello Skip. But what I like about Skip is that they have the grant vault. And so as you go in and answer your questions of why did you start your business, who are your audience, all of these wonderful things, and they save it. And so as you are applying for these grants, you're just plugging. And you can apply for things very quickly. All right.
Have you ever
And
gotten anything?
I have not. Well, not from here. I have gotten
Okay.
other funding, but not from Hello Skip because I did so every Friday, and I think they do it twice a month now, this $1,000 grant here. They do it, I thought it was once, but they may do it twice. So here's how I used to use Hello Skip. I used to go on here. Oh, it's about to be Friday. They're giving away $1,000. Let me apply. And let me show you how easy it is to apply. I'm gonna actually application. Oh, this is my application. Start applying. Congrats, you've just added to your dashboard. All set. Go to my dashboard. Let's see, continue applying. Where are you? Technology never works when you want it to. Oh, well, maybe this is where well, here, it's right here.
Now, is
Right.
it one of those things because it's a clearinghouse that once you do like your profile with your business goals and all of that, it will spit it right into the applications that,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's exactly what they did. So they pulled all of my information in there, and all I am going to do is just hit submit application.
Got it. Okay.
And submit. And so it allows me to submit that 15 every 2 weeks, like my goal is. I always say it's super easy, and I would recommend because I do. So Hello Skip, I just recommend them because the grants game is the more you apply, the higher your chances of getting funding is.
Oh, so you got to stay on top of it and make sure you're applying. If it's every Friday, then every Friday you're going in to apply. Does
Right.
it matter if you're starting out or do you already need to have
It does not matter.
sales?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they have startup grants. The $1,000 is for anything you want to do in your business, right? Um, but but that's what I was doing at first. I was just going in there, making sure I applied to the $1,000. And then they go live on YouTube. You have to be present to get the $1,000. And sometimes I wasn't. So I was just kind of
Got it.
doing like, so then I said, girl, come on now. You need to get these licenses every year. That keeps rolling around. Get serious about this funding game. And so I went in and I was very thoughtful about my responses. And I went in and they have this AI generator thing where you can go in and make sure your responses are however they should be,
How would
right?
it should be? Mhm.
Yeah.
Can I get a
Um,
copy of this recording too, so I could look back at it?
yes, you can do
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I just like to use Hello Skip. Okay. And I just be very strategic, consistent, and
Mm-hmm.
keep applying. There's other things. Look in your community. We have Urban Impact here, and they have this community impact fund. Now that one I was able to get. I was funded 17,000 from them.
Nice.
And yeah, it was like, oh, that was my
Hit the
turnaround
jackpot.
story. I was supposed to tell the turnaround story. They actually was reinvented. They were the first company that rejected me when I started in 2009.
Mm.
I came back and did the thing and was like, let me apply again because I was thinking like funding. I was in this funding mode in my business. How do I bring funding to my business? And then I went and revisit them, and then so they did eventually. It was 17,500 that they did award me. So I was excited about that. It was a good turnaround moment for me.
Did you develop an official business plan?
Yeah, I have an official. And so I am working, as you can see here, generate a business plan. I'm working on updating it because my business, it has evolved since when my first business plan happened.
Do you have a
Um,
template for that, or I guess I can
I
Google
I
that, right?
should I can give you mine actually. I'll
Okay.
give you mine and you can take a look at it. When I first did first thing I did was I used Fiverr,
Yep,
Fiverr.
I used Fiverr before for logo designing. Oh, they will
Yes,
create a business plan for you?
they will create a business plan, but here's why. When I got it, I was like, this is
Not what
not
I
it.
wanted, but I guess the more information you give them, the better they'll be able to design it.
Yes, so be very descriptive because most of the people on Fiverr are overseas and they
Mm-hmm.
don't
There's
have
a
that
language
D9
barrier, and they
culture.
don't have the content or the culture, right? And especially you
Right.
talk about Greek letter organizations, they're like, what?
What? Exactly, exactly. It's just some people I was in a business meeting the other day, and one lady asked me, when you say D9, what are you talking about?
Right.
I was like, but I had to remember what setting I was in.
Right.
So everybody is in verse. So I've noticed that when I outsource some of those things, when I get what I get back is not exactly what
Because
I'm
it's just because they don't understand the culture. It's not that they can't
yeah.
create the plan. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. However, I was able to use that in work it and reframe it and know what it is that I'll need my business plan to say.
So they probably could even just get me started, and I could always tweak it to be
Yeah,
what I need it to be. Okay.
yeah. That's what I did with that one. I just tweaked it to what I needed to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. And so lastly, like we're wrapping it up.
This was very helpful.
I'm glad. I'm glad. It's time to end the gatekeeping. It's time to end. Alrighty. So lastly, I wanted to talk about some of the other services that I do offer and some of the upcoming workshops. I do a D9 vendor challenge, which is high level information. However, it is a week long and it goes through mindset and motivation. It goes through how to set up your business properly in order to be licensed. It talks about D9 history, each organization. So we discuss all Divine Nine organizations and their challenge. This challenge is coming up in June. It is $27 for that week.
Do you
I
repeat it?
for the
Meaning, if
repeat.
I don't do it now, would you do it again?
Oh yeah, I do the
Okay.
challenge. I try to do the I did my first one a couple of months ago. And I'm trying to do at least one a quarter.
Okay.
Because it is very high level. It is very for those who are interested but not ready to take that next step, but they want more information about how to
Okay.
take that next step. That is the challenge that's coming up. It's $27. It is June. You'll get some information about when that happens. I also offer one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaching. It's 4 sessions. We do 4 sessions. First, we just talk about your business goals. What is it that you would like to do in your business, and where do you see your business? Second is product development, where we sit down and we work through what those products are that you would like to offer and come away from that particular session with a product list.
Okay.
Then we go through the application process on our third session, where we are doing the application. And then lastly, we're talking about funding, like how do we secure our business, set it up for funding, and where do we go like to look for some of these funding things. So that's the one-on-one coaching. One-on-one coaches is $197, but
Not
you
bad.
can break that down into payments of, I want to say 40 something payments
Okay.
there.
Very. And how long is it? You said 4 sessions. So is that 4 months, 4 weeks? Like, how does that work?
And actually depends on the person. So if you
Okay.
wanted to do a session a week, we can
Mm-hmm.
do it a session a week. If you want to do all 4 sessions in 1 week, time permitting, we can do all 4 sessions in 1 week, or we can take it slow and do it monthly. So it
Got it.
depends
Okay.
on you, yeah,
It
your
depends on
business.
how pace. If I wanted to say, most likely me, I probably would do it monthly because I want to be able to do whatever homework I need to be able to do. And like I said, I'm a principal, so my life is, and I'm very,
Oh
very, very, very active in Zeta. I have like 50 roles, so I want to make sure that I have time to do my homework, so that by the time we meet again, I'm
yeah,
able to have something. So okay, that's
yes. And
feasible.
all right. And then of course our upcoming workshops. The next one, why don't I have this up?
And those you repeat as well.
So yeah, I am hoping to keep this same schedule from year to year. So this is
Okay.
my first year schedule, trying to test it out. I will say that this challenge did come up a little quicker than I was like, whoa, is it time already? To be
But now,
prepared.
if I do the one-on-one coaching,
Uh-huh.
do I also need to do the, well, first of all, I'm going to just start out by doing Zeta first, and then I'll
Mhm.
actually do SGR since I'm already have that one. Do I need to do each of the other organizations? Because I don't think everyone was two. I think everybody else was a one-off.
Right, right.
So do
Because
I
they were
need to do
different.
each of those separately?
For the workshops,
Yes,
they're going to be different. Yeah.
they're going to be different. Okay.
They are going to
Okay.
be different.
Okay.
Yeah, different process.
Okay.
All right. And then lastly, how do you get in touch? We have our mailing address here, our email, phone number. Please follow us on Facebook and IG. If you have not joined the community, which I know both of you all have, we do have, the Facebook group community where we just chit chat and share stuff. I'm in my AI moment now and I'm loving it. So join the community. I have some links that I will share with you all via email if you are interested in taking advantage of any of the products. Plus, I will send the product catalog, the video link for the 15 design tips for D9. You will also have your checklist. I will put this recording. Like I said, normally I don't record these because it's different, but because we're small and it's you guys, And there was some very specific information for you. I will give that to you. And with that, I'm going to stop recording so it can be generating. Well, I want to stop recording. Oh, here we go.